Hi there, welcome back to Whiskey and Wit. I'm Whitney, and today's video is another Dollar Tree sign DIY transformation, so stay tuned. A couple videos ago, I shared with you guys a lot of different signs that I'd picked up with DIYs in mind, and a lot of people commented and said, can't wait to see them, can't wait to see them. So I hurried up and cranked them out, so then that way I could share them with you. You could go grab these signs and use these for your fall decor. So today's video is going to be this pumpkin patch directional sign that I made from a flamingo sign. Now when I'm walking through the Dollar Tree, I'm not necessarily looking that there's a mermaid on something or a pineapple on something. I'm looking at the bones. So this, I saw that there was a lovely kind of directional signage, and I've seen a ton of these on Pinterest, and I thought this way I don't have to cut the wood myself. I can just go ahead and paint it, and it's $1. I did use vinyl on this sign, but if you don't have a Cricut, do not fret, because I do have another video that shows you how you can do any of my Cricut projects, because I link everything I use down below, and you can use Mod Podge on top of the white paint with paper to look like this. So this DIY pumpkin sign, this was another Dollar Tree sign. I've got a video on this. I will link above so you can go check that out, but just use the files down below and this process to create this arrow sign if you don't have a Cricut. But you can also look on Etsy. They sell a ton of different decals. That's what you're gonna wanna search. So fall decals. Without further ado, let's get into the project. The materials you'll need is a arrow sign from the Dollar Tree, some white paint, you can use acrylic or chalk, 2 different brushes, and some Mod Podge. You're also gonna need the type of stencil, or you can freehand it as well, but your design you're gonna put on the sign. One is to take some sandpaper and really just rough up the sign. This had some random amounts of glitter on it, and I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to bubble up and have it be gritty in the paint. So I hit that a couple times with just some regular sandpaper, nothing fancy, what we had in the garage. And then I taped down the hanging piece. I did 3 coats of the Waverly chalk paint on this sign, and I also made sure to get all of the edges, so then that way if it was hanging, you weren't going to see an unfinished edge anywhere around there. I typically do the back of signs, but I decided to do the front because the back had the hanging string and also those alligator clips, so then that way you could put it on the wall. After it's painted, then I just took some transfer tape and I stuck it to my table first a few times, so then that way it was less sticky. Did the same with the red truck and the pumpkin. I will link all the sites down below where I got these SVG files. Love SVG, where the pumpkin came from, is one of my favorite sites to get free SVGs, so I will link that down below. You can print them, you can cut them, you can do all the things with SVG, so it isn't just for Cricut people or silhouette people. So then I took the pumpkin patch, which I will link down below so you can cut this exact thing. I made this myself, and I stuck it to the sign, made sure to centralize it, and then stuck it down. Now I had an issue because I was overzealous and started to do this before the paint was fully dry, which was my mistake. So it wasn't pulling up as nicely as I wanted it to. I finally was able to get everything up, but the problem was some of these small letters weren't sticking for me. So this is not ideal, but this is how I fixed it, and I think it looks just fine. I took my weeding tool, also a small brush with some Mod Podge on it, and used it to stick down these letters. Now I did like that it pulled up a little paint because it gave it that rustic look, but I needed the word apples to have that L in it. So I went through and made sure that everything was sitting down and kind of how I wanted it, and then I took my small brush with Mod Podge and carefully stuck everything down. Definitely a tedious process. This won't happen if you wait, and don't be impatient like I was. And what I love most about this sign was that I made it with this sign in mind, so it kind of looked like a set to go together. So the red truck over here with the pumpkins over here, it's kind of an empty truck waiting for the pumpkins to be picked up. But I have both of these in my living room, so they look like a set, and really I'm so happy with how they turned out. And if you're looking on how to create this one, I do have a full tutorial. It's the same one as the white pumpkin sign that I showed at the beginning of the video, and I will link that up above and at the end of this video if you want to check that out and create it yourself. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspired you. If it did, be sure to tag me on social media and share a photo of your project. I'm Whiskey and Wit on Facebook and Instagram. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit subscribe down below. I've got a ton more content coming, and that way you won't miss any future DIYs, shop with me's, hauls, etc. All the fun stuff that we do here on Whiskey and Wit for me in the future. So hit that button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!